Popular fragrances that I don't like. Now, these have a pretty solid reputation in the fragrance community. A lot of people have nothing but raving reviews, but as for myself, these are all a pass. I'm not really with it, you know what I mean? But of course, to each their own. So I'll still put a link for them in the description box in the comment section if you want to check it out. But the first one is Ultramail by Jean-Paul Gaultier. And this is just annoyingly sweet to me. I will say that I did buy this because I heard a lot about it online. This I got when I was just starting. I was just getting into the fragrance game. I didn't have a sweet fragrance. And I heard everyone say, oh yeah, Ultramail, just ignore the name. But it's like a very sweet unisex fragrance. And I was like, okay, that's checking boxes. It also is very long lasting, and I give it that. This is definitely something that pushes past 8 hours. Performance is not an issue with Ultramail. But when I first smelled it, it's like, okay, trying to see if it could grow on me. And it was that novice mindset that I had, that even though I wasn't really liking it, I was still trying to think to myself, no, you like it. This is a good fragrance. You know, that wouldn't have like a bunch of people giving it raving reviews if it wasn't amazing. So I was trying to like really get myself to like it. And then, you know, I thought it was okay. But then the more I started to smell it, not even on myself, but I did spray this on guys as well, and even on women. And I just started to dislike it more and more, and it actually became pretty headache inducing. Like, this is something that, especially if you're somebody that's migraine prone, right, I would stay away from this fragrance. But in terms of scent trail projection, it like thumbs up for sure. But the actual smell of it was something that I was like, I don't want. It was irritating. It was honestly pretty annoying. Like, it didn't stink. Like, it wasn't like a wild ass oud fragrance, but it was just something that was so overwhelming that it just was so off-putting. In fact, this is just from my personal experience when I've actually sprayed this on guys and then asked for their opinions on it, on like, you know, when they go about their day, how they felt about it, and then how it was received by women around them. And the guys loved this. Like, the guys that I sprayed this on, they were like, oh yeah, it's a good scent. But then when they wore it around their girlfriends, like, their girlfriends made them scrub it off because they were like, that's annoying, or like, that does not, like, they were not with it at all. So it wasn't just me in that regard, but of course there are women that love this scent, okay? Like, I'm not saying just because I don't like it, nobody out there does, but for me, it's just, ugh. This is something that if I smelled it, I would have to walk out of the room because I need to breathe in some fresh air. So Ultramail, I don't like it. Next is a Raja fragrance called Sweetie Oud. And man, I fell for the hype train on this. I don't want to call it a hype train because that word is kind of to me, but like, I heard nothing but great things. I was like, okay, it smells like a bakery. It smells like there's like some fresh baked bread in there, and then like maybe some like, I don't know, some croissants, some chocolate croissants, you know, that's what I was expecting, right? But the oud was definitely more dominant in this fragrance than I'd imagined. You know what I expected would smell like this, or the smell I was expecting from Sweetie Oud was, it's back in the box right now, but Panettone from Milano Fragrance, the one that I recently reviewed on my channel. That smells like a buttery, crispy, pantry pastry. And like with, you know, fruits and stuff, it's after a dessert. It's a gourmand fragrance. But that's what I was expecting here. But it just was very oud dominant to my nose. And it was kind of off-putting, not gonna lie. Yeah, it was really strong with the oud. I think this is definitely a niche fragrance connoisseurs type of fragrance because it definitely has that boldness, it has that complexity, it has that high quality that you're able to pick up on, and I admire it for that. Definitely a high quality fragrance, but do I like the smell? No, I do not. I have tested this on myself, not just on skin, but on clothes as well, and I even sprayed it in the air, and that's usually how I test fragrances because, of course, skin chemistry varies from person to person, but typically when you spray this in the air, most people would get like the same sort of smell, but they'll have different opinions on it. So I smelled it in the air, and I was still like, ugh, not my thing. So Sweetie Oud is a pass. Honorable mention to Creation E, also by Raja Parfums. That one I know niche heads love that fragrance. It's also called Enigma, if I'm not mistaken. But it's branded as this sexy Coca-Cola fragrance, yada, 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 all of that sort of stuff. But to me, it smelled like an antique shop. Like it smelled like an old antique shop. Kind of gave me grandpa vibes, not gonna lie. I didn't find anything sexy about that fragrance. You know, you had people like typing, oh, like this is a daddy fragrance. All I'm like, that's a grandfather's fragrance right there. I was not messing with that at all. And people were saying, they're like, oh, it's because your age, you're like 18. I'm like, no, I'm not 18, y'all. Like, I'm like in my upper 20s. You know what I'm saying? And even like I've smelled more mature fragrances as well, but still, like I just was not, my heart was not with Creation E. In terms of performance, it wasn't bad, but it was just like, it was a scent that I had it on me and I'm like, damn, I want to wear something else. You know, it was just like, again, like, ugh, did not like it. Last fragrance I will mention here is Tom Ford Fabulous. All right. Now, Fabulous I don't hate. Like this, it isn't a bad fragrance at all. In terms of performance, this is solid. Like all the things that I showed you, performance is a thumbs up for sure. Okay, these are not weak in performance at all. But the smell of Fabulous, first of all, here's the thing that I didn't really like about it, is it has a dope name. All right, it's fucking fabulous. Huge, right? But is it actually like a fabulous fragrance? Like when you smell it, I was expecting it to be really polarizing. I was ready to really hate it or really love it. You know what I mean? Because of the name. But it was kind of like fucking average. That makes sense, like mediocre a little bit, the smell itself. It reminded me of like baby wipes. There's a little bit of baby wipe vibe that I get. And then maybe some lavender in there. So I will say like this is a wearable fragrance. Like I feel like if you love tonka bean, you're going to enjoy this scent for sure. But to me, it was also something that I actually got a comment on this from somebody that they were like, ooh, that's a bit too strong. I don't really like that. You know, when I did one spray of it. So it just was not, I will say that was that the summertime? I think it was spring. I didn't wear this in the summer. I can't remember. Did I? I can't remember off the top of my head. But nonetheless, powerhouse fragrance, strong, but the smell, like it just kind of left me underwhelmed. The smell of it, you know? And then also it was also kind of just a bit, it was loud, right? So but that part I was expecting. But the actual smell of it was a bit too safe. It was a bit too tame. You know, I feel like if they named this something else, it wouldn't be on this list. But because this is genius marketing and it has a name that everyone's like, I need to get my hands on that because yes, I am fabulous. You know, the marketing was A1 for sure. But for me, don't really like it. Know a lot of people love it though. And I know whenever you tell somebody like it's a Tom Ford fragrance and they see the bottle, usually majority of people already in their minds are like, okay, this is gonna be a good scent because it's a Tom Ford, because people associate Tom Ford with luxury. So there's already a bit of that bias, right? And even if they don't really like it at first, like, okay, well, maybe let me get to know, give it a chance, right? More often than other fragrances out there that aren't, like that don't have the name brand to them. So yeah. No, not my favorite. But there it is. Let me know in the comment section below what popular fragrances you're not really a fan of, because I always find this conversation to be interesting. And again, I'll put discount links for all these fragrances in the description box below in case you want to try samples of them, or in case like you love them, you know, because there's people who love them. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.